Hello, it's Books at Lunchtime, and I'm Tracy, and it's lunchtime on a Sunday, so I'm here by myself, but I've snuck in, I have the key, and it's quiet, so the phone shouldn't be ringing, and it's the perfect time, while it's still and quiet, to be talking about books about mindfulness and Advent, because today is the first Sunday of Advent. The Advent calendars you won't be breaking them out until Tuesday, the 1st of December, but actually in churches around the country, they've been lighting the first candle of Advent, which is the candle of hope. So I thought this would be a perfect time while it's quiet in the shop on a Sunday to talk about books for actually reflecting, because it's been a tough year actually for everybody, and it's with very mixed up feelings that we're going into Christmas. We want to be excited, but a lot of people feel like it's been a bit of a train wreck. So I think that more than ever, we need to be able to stop and think about how we're feeling. So I thought I would bring you some books that you can have as companions as you're reflecting. And the first one, appropriately, is the Book of Hopes. I'm going to start with books for children, really, but I maintain that books for children are actually largely there to be shared with adults, so not very many books are just for the children. This one is by the ever popular Katherine Rundell. Well, she edited it. So Katherine Rundell wrote The Explorers, Rooftoppers, Wolf Wilder, most recently that I've enjoyed, The Good Thieves. And during lockdown, she realized that actually she just needed some stories of hope. So she got cracking writing to an awful lot of children's writers and illustrators whom she respected and who we all enjoy. And she asked them to send her very short stories and illustrations of things that would give us hope. So here's a story by Francesca Simon. There's Sophie Dahl, Jessica Townsend, and lots of people whose names we recognize, and lots of lovely illustrations. And all of the stories are up to about 4 pages long. The Jacqueline Wilson, Annabelle Pitcher, M.G. Leonard, Catherine Woodfine. So it's a lovely gifty book with beautiful shiny print for the Book of Hopes and Birds in the Trees. And this book is, I don't remember the price of this, but it is a gifty book, but it's one that's nice to share, particularly at bedtimes. While we're looking at children's books, and actually, if you've met children, you know they don't always want to sit down and be reflective and pensive. On Tuesday, they're going to be wanting, usually, an Advent calendar. And there's enough excitement without needing to add chocolate to the mix. So fortunately, the clever people who make books have decided to package them up as Advent calendars. So I have 2 of these, or 2 selections. I've got this Mr. Min and Little Miss one, and I also have a Peppa Pig one. And these have 24 books in them, and the books are this size. I have a helpful assistant. So, helpful assistant, can you hand me some books, please? So here's Mr. Snow. This is the size of books that you get. Here's Mr. Christmas. Here's Little Miss Christmas. Can't read that, Winter Wonderland. And I've got the Christmas Elf. So here are several of the books that you would get in the calendar. They actually are £3.99 each, but if you get the big Advent calendar all wrapped up, then you get to open the windows, find the book, and you get 24 books of this size for £19.99. So a really good deal, really good value, and you can share it all through the Christmas season and after, and for year after year. So much better value than chocolate, I reckon. While we stick with the children, oh, thank you, helpful assistant. This is the Peppa Pig variety. So Advent book collection. And these again are Christmas themed stories. The back. So it opens out. Staying with the children, if you want to look at the traditional nativity story, we have some lovely books that tell the Christmas story. We have a coloring book, Nativity, from the good people at Usborne, and they are very good friends to us here because they really believe in what we're doing as a community bookshop. But Usborne also make, thank you, Jigsaw Nativity, and this has a book in it as well. So it's a 30-piece jigsaw, so it's going to be not too much of a challenge for a young child, and the pieces are this size, and it has the book as well. So for a mere £9.99, you get the book and you get the jigsaw. So that's lots of fun to have again and again, and it might be a nice treat leading up to Christmas as you talk about why we have Christmas apart from Father Christmas. For adults, what we have, I'll just stick with the actual Advent for a moment longer. So Tom Wright is very well respected, and this is an older edition of Advent for Everyone. He actually has one that looks more closely at Matthew from the Bible, which is the book I understand is tells the Christmas story the most sympathetically. So these are available as a companion leading up to it. But if you want to be a bit more broad, I have a couple of books about meditation here and just being mindful. One of these, I will just say I watched the first episode of Black Books again last night, and the Bill Bailey character Manny chokes on the Little Book of Calm, which is quite hilarious. And if you haven't seen it for a while, it's worth going back to. These books are not like the Little Book of Calm, although I think that this one is sort of, so this is Oneness with All Life by Eckhart Tolle. It's very solid, but it has small statements one at a time, the way the Little Book of Calm did. I actually did have a copy of the Little Book of Calm at the time it was given to me. So these are small statements that you take one in and you think about it. So opening this up randomly. So forgiveness happens naturally when you see that your grievances have no purpose other than to strengthen a false sense of self to keep the ego in place. So there's quite a lot in that one sentence. So it's not a very big book, but it would probably keep you thinking for a very, very long time. It is hardback with gold-ish shiny foil cover, and Oprah Winfrey calls this essential spiritual teaching one of the most valuable books she's ever read. She's read a lot, and this is only £8.99. More of a narrative, more of a discussion. I thought this was quite good, A Monk's Guide to Happiness. So I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. This is by Gelong Thubten, and it is not expensive again. And it is, again, gold foil, very gifty, but it's more of a discussion about what he learned by going into, I think it was a 4-year seclusion, and 5 months of that was spent in silence. During that time is when Facebook and iPhones and YouTube came on the scene, and they were mostly unaware of any of that. So the world changed a great deal during the time that they were in their seclusion. But this is more of a discussion. You can see that it has regular paragraphs, so he's going to be leading you along his journey, which will help you as you sort of think about where you are in life. Very, very brief one, and kind of, I didn't expect this from Elif Shafak. I've just read her fiction book, 10 minutes, 38 seconds in a life. So this nonfiction, very small, £5 book, surprised me. So this is only 90 pages long, How to Stay Sane in an Age of Division. And it has chapters with names like, titles like, delusionment and bewilderment, anger, anxiety. And it's basically, she's making an argument that we should have a very conscious optimism. She is Booker nominated. She is an activist, and she's working with her memories. She's lived in lots of different countries. She has such a range of experience and awareness, particularly of women's issues. And she says that listening to each other can nurture democracy, empathy, and our faith in a kinder and wiser future. So for the sake of 90 pages, and £5 to see what she has to say. I think that it would make all of us a better person to have spent the time reading this. And finally, just because I can, and I always want to talk about our Norwich lady, our beloved Julian of Norwich. Julian of Norwich was the first woman to write in English, and she, her shrine is at the bottom of, what is that hill called? It's all through one road. And I can't remember what the name of the hill is. And it's the hill that comes out of John Lewis and goes down to Rouen Road. Sorry? No. So her shrine is there. So basically she died in the mid 14th century, and she had traumatic experiences. They think that probably all of her family died in a plague or other trauma. And she started having revelations, and so she secluded herself. 20 years later, she started writing, capturing these, and the writing is quite dense, but there's so much power in it. And one thing that has really stuck with me is how she says, all will be well, and all will be well, and all manner of thing in the world will be well. And I think that all of the books that I've talked about today give that kind of hope and reflection that we need this time of year. We look to this time of year, but especially because things are just not great right now. So I recommend any and all of these for a bit of humor or for a bit of light relief. And we will do a thing about humorous books sometime, but all of these books are available, and I hope that you have things to read to keep you thoughtful. Thanks very much. Bye.